Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're here, I'm guessing it's because you want to learn smarter, not harder. And we've gone through all the source material you sent in, articles, papers, even personal notes, and they all circle around one universal frustration for language learners.
Oh, yeah. That frustration is it's the constant mental translation, isn't it? It's the core barrier that stops people from feeling fluent.
Absolutely. It's that process. You hear someone speak English, and your brain immediately it translates it into your native language. Then you come up with the perfect answer in your own language, and this is the killer part. You have to translate that answer back into English before you can even speak.
It's taking a very long road, as one of the sources put it so well.
Yeah, it really is.
And by the time you've done all that, the conversation is, 3 steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
Or your brain is just,
that's what that
it's
is.
Exhausted.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We are laser focused on extracting the actual methods, the practical tips to help your brain skip that step.
We want to get you on the fast road, help you switch your brain directly into, let's call it, English mode.
Exactly. And we're not just talking about vocabulary lists. The strategies we've compiled from your sources, they're designed to literally change your internal wiring.
To build a new English brain.
So let's start with the most fundamental shift, the one that came up again and again. How to eliminate that middleman.
Right. So the first, and I think you could argue the most powerful strategy, is all about visualization.
Okay.
You have to stop the dictionary in your head. When you learn a new word, you need to connect that English word directly to the image or the concept itself.
That sounds simple, but it feels like it would take a ton of discipline. I mean, if you say the word chair, my first impulse is to think of the word for chair in my native language.
And that's the moment. That's the habit you have to interrupt.
Okay, so how?
You have to consciously build a new connection. So you see a physical chair, and that image should immediately fire off the English word chair in your mind.
A direct link.
A direct single-step link. If you let it detour through your mother tongue, you're just reinforcing that slower 3-step process every single time.
So if I'm holding an apple, I shouldn't think of the word for it. I should just see the red, sweet fruit and connect that image directly to the word apple.
Yes. Like watching a movie.
Yeah.
There's no narrator translating for you. The image and the English word become one thing. No middleman.
Like that. No middleman. Okay, so once we start building those direct links, how do we keep the brain in that mode, when we're not actively studying?
That brings us to the second habit, which is narrating your day.
Self-talk?
Exactly. This is one of the most praised strategies in the source material because it's so low stress. You just become the narrator of your own life, but in English.
And we're not talking about writing a novel here, right? We're talking simple.
Oh, incredibly simple. Just small sentences, constant short bursts. You wake up, the alarm is ringing. I am tired.
You're making breakfast. The water is hot. I need milk.
Precisely. The whole point is quantity, not complexity, and the real power of it
is that no one is listening.
Exactly. There's zero performance pressure. You can make mistakes, you can experiment. It doesn't matter. It just keeps that English part of your brain switched on all day.
Okay, so we've covered the internal stuff visualization and the inner monologue, but what about our external environment? The sources had a really cool, actionable hack for that.
Yes. This is where you start to use passive immersion. And the trick is to leverage things you're already familiar with.
The phone settings swap?
The phone settings swap. Change your phone, your browser, your social media apps. Switch them all to English.
I can literally hear people getting nervous right now. The first thought is, what if I get lost in my own settings and I can't switch it back?
It's a valid fear, but here's why it works so well. You won't get lost because of muscle memory. You already know the position of all the important buttons.
Okay. I know the choreography of the app. I know the messages button is always in that bottom corner, whether the word says messages or something else.
Precisely. The position is burned into your memory. So the action of using the app naturally teaches you the English word. You see like, comment, share, and those words just become automatic.
So it's a cognitive shortcut. You're forcing the English word to be the default for an action you already know how to do.
It is. It's a very small change that creates constant unconscious learning. It just keeps the brain busy with English, which is incredibly efficient.
And efficiency is the perfect word because that leads right into our next section. The whole point of this is to gain speed. And the sources say the fastest way to do that isn't learning single words.
It's learning in chunks.
Chunks.
Yeah, pieces of language. We need to move away from building sentences word by word. The sources compare them to like prepackaged units.
So instead of learning I plus am plus hungry,
You learn I'm hungry as one single block, one piece.
but doesn't that sort of bypass grammar? I mean, we're always told to learn vocabulary, then learn the rules to put the words together.
That's a great point. And it's not that we're ignoring grammar entirely. We're building functional grammar first. When you learn a chunk, your brain doesn't have to build the sentence like a puzzle every time you want to speak.
You just grab the pre-made piece.
You just grab it. It's,
Right.
it's like a fast food menu. You order the whole meal. You don't order the bun, then the meat, then the cheese separately.
I love that analogy.
And it saves you from all those confusing grammar translations. Think about a phrase like, how's it going?
Right. If you translate that word for word, it makes no sense. Going where?
Exactly. But if you learn it as a chunk, you just know it means, how are you? The grammar is already baked in. You don't have to think about it.
That feels liberating. What are some other examples of chunks that save you from that grammatical headache?
Well, think about make versus do. That's a tough one.
Mm.
But if you learn the chunks, make a decision, and do the dishes, you just know which one to use.
You don't have to stop and think about the rule.
Never. Or instead of I understand, you learn the more natural response chunk. I appreciate that. Or I'll catch up with you later. These are whole units of meaning. Your brain just grabs the package.
Okay, so let's move to the moment we all dread. The moment you're in a conversation, it's flowing, and then you get stuck.
Oh, yes. The brain just goes blank.
And one critical word is gone. And that immediate impulse is to reach for your phone, for the dictionary. The dictionary trap.
And that trap just kills your fluency because you have to switch your English brain off to go look up a word.
So what's the alternative?
The alternative, the thing that keeps the English light on, is you stay in English and you describe the word using the vocabulary you already have.
Describe it. That feels so awkward, especially if you're feeling pressured in the moment.
It is difficult at first, but it's an incredible exercise. Think of it as a little English game. If you can't remember the word tailor, you don't panic. You say,
The person who makes my clothes fit better.
yes. Or you can't remember whisk while you're cooking. You say, can you pass me the metal thing with wires for mixing eggs?
And the other person understands you.
They understand you. And more importantly, your brain just solved a communication problem entirely in English. The sources call that a permanent win for your English brain.
Why a permanent win? I mean, why is that so much better than just getting the answer from a dictionary?
Because when you use a dictionary, you're just copying. It's
Right.
passive. When you're forced to describe something, you have to activate so many different parts of your brain, your vocabulary, sentence structure, communication strategy.
You're working harder.
You're working much harder.
Yeah.
And that effort makes the memory stronger. You're much less likely to forget the word whisk next time because you had to work for it in English.
So it reframes that moment of panic into an opportunity for practice.
Exactly.
That actually connects really well to reading habits. A lot of learners will read something and they'll stop at every single unknown word to translate it. It makes reading feel like a chore.
It's so slow and painful. And the sources say you need to embrace your superpower here,
Which is guessing.
which is guessing. If you know, say, 70% of the words in a sentence, you have more than enough context to guess the rest.
But what if I guess wrong? That's the fear, isn't it? The need to be 100% correct.
And you have to let go of that. An occasional wrong guess is fine because the act of guessing is what's so valuable. You're using English logic to figure out English.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say you read, she sank comfortably into the plush sofa after a long day. You don't know sofa, but you know sank comfortably and plush.
Okay, so a sofa must be some kind of soft thing you can sit on.
And there you go. Your English brain just figured it out without a dictionary.
So the describing game and the guessing game they're really two sides of the same coin then. They're both about training your brain to solve problems using only the English you have.
Precisely. It builds resilience, it builds confidence.
Yeah.
And that's really what fluency is all about.
You know, when you put it all together like this, it sounds like thinking in English isn't some special talent. It's just a muscle you have to train.
That's it, exactly. Which brings us to our final section, mindset. Because so many people say that when they first try these things, their brain just feels heavy, slow.
And they feel like they're failing. Is that feeling of like mental exhaustion normal?
It is not only normal, it's a sign that it's working. The sources used a great analogy, the gym.
Okay.
If you lift a heavy weight for the first time, your muscles are going to be sore and tired the next day. This is the exact same thing happening in your brain.
So the brain is adapting. It's building those new pathways.
It is. That direct link between an object and the English word, it's a new neural muscle. And every tiny thought you have in English, I need coffee, the sky's blue, is one more repetition.
Yeah.
That heavy feeling is it's neuroplasticity in action. It's the feeling of success.
That's a huge shift in perspective. So besides the self-talk, what else can help with that daily training?
Continuous exposure to the rhythm of the language. Listen to English as much as you can. Podcasts, music, TV.
Even if you don't understand everything, just having it on in the background.
Yes, because the goal here is a bit different. You're not always listening for comprehension. You're listening to hear the music of the language, the stress, the intonation, the flow.
So you want it to become like a song that gets stuck in your head.
Exactly. You want that rhythm to get installed in your brain. Once it's there, you'll naturally start thinking and speaking with that same flow without even trying.
That's fascinating. So it all boils down to the idea that thinking in English isn't about being a genius.
Not at all. It's about small, consistent habits and training.
This has been incredibly useful. Let's quickly summarize the 5 key habits that you can start using right now.
Okay. First, connect words directly to images. No native language middleman.
Second, narrate your day in simple English sentences. Keep that English brain on, but with zero pressure.
Third, change your digital world, your phone, your apps, to English. Let your muscle memory do the teaching for you.
Fourth, learn phrases, not just words. Learn those chunks so your brain can just grab a ready-made sentence.
And finally, when you get stuck, play the game. Either describe the word or guess the word. Solve the problem in English.
And if you do these things, the sources say the stress disappears and English becomes fun.
That is the goal. It's a training process, for sure, but it's what allows you to finally share your thoughts and your life unfiltered.
You know, we focused entirely on the practical side of this, the mental hacks. But the sources also said something else. They said to succeed, you need to be brave and a little bit silly sometimes. That silliness. It's the antidote to the pressure, the fear of making mistakes. So our challenge to you is this. What is one silly, low-stakes English habit you could start today? Maybe it's talking to your dog in English or narrating your favorite cartoon out loud. Something that's just pure pressure-free play to make sure that English muscle keeps on growing.